Hey, this is WhyBeAre back with Automation, the car company Tycoon game, and today we're not going to make a car, we're going to just make an engine, but we're going to make the most difficult engine there is. At least I think it'll be the most difficult engine there is, which is the iEngine, which actually makes a reference to the iCar, which we built previously. So now we're going to make the iEngine, which is all out of order. It's all out of order, but oh well, what you going to do? So let's go ahead and read the little scenario right here. The iEngine is a concept which takes a standard petrol engine and makes it the new, cool, must-have toy in the automotive industry. Actually, it is an eco-box, notable only for the fact that it runs on fuel sold exclusively at special iFuel stations. The iEngine needs to have a shiny aluminum block, must be light, small, reliable, and economical. Also, it needs to be free of vibrations, as you need the driver listening to the audio player to keep thoughts from straying off the insane price he paid for his shiny, mediocre performance eco hatch. Well, shoot, if you want no vibrations, boy, do I got the engine designed for you. It's a rotary. That's WhyBeAre, but a rotary engine and everything. Since there are no rotary engines, though, I guess we'll have to do the next best thing, which is a V8 engine. And it did say we should use an aluminum block, so cast iron. No, we'll use an aluminum block, like they said. Because, oh yeah, with that much weight, that means everything else has to be 70 pounds. I don't think that's going to work out. For the bore and the stroke, we won't touch that. We'll come back to it and see what we need to do later, but I'm pretty sure this engine is way too big. Crank, we're going to do it as cheap as possible. Conrod, cheap as possible. Pistons, we're going to go for the low friction cast because we need both the fuel efficiency and the emission reductions you see up here. Emission has to be less than that, and economy has to be less than that. The head and valves, it sounds funny, economy, less than that. Like usually you think economy, a big number because of miles per gallon. But it's actually in this one, it's measured in a different metric. So a good economy is a smaller number. Just unusual to think about. Anyways, heads and valves, push rod is just ancient and high friction kind of thing in comparison to the other options. So we won't be using that because we don't really have a use for that as far as I'm concerned. Overhead cam never seems like it has much benefit over a direct acting overhead cam to me. Like it's heavier. The max RPM is lower, the friction is higher, the airflow is lower. I never see a reason to use overhead cam versus direct acting. So the question really is, do we want direct acting or dual overhead? And I'm looking at the weight difference. A dual overhead cam will be so much weight, 180 pounds. What if we make it aluminum? All right, 113. That's more sane. We can do a 4-valve dual overhead cam because we're going to need some really good low friction kind of design on this thing probably to reach what our goals are. So that's what I'm using. We'll have all the V stuff on it because those things will also probably be needed to make our goals. We'll make it naturally aspirated because we don't have the money for a turbo. We don't need it, frankly. It's a big old V8. Injection will be multi-point EFI, I would think. Well, we could go for single because I don't know how much money we have. That's the thing. I gotta kind of just get a test run to see what we really have sitting before us. So I'm just gonna kind of click things through right here, not worry about anything, just to kind of get a test vehicle to see what is it we're really dealing with here. So I'm just gonna go just like that and then say, okay, what does that put us at? So right now the engine is way too expensive. It doesn't have enough smoothness, economy, and it's too heavy by a lot. All right, we need to reduce the weight, like in half at least. So let's try reducing it to be about a 2-liter engine with the stroke as big as possible, while the bore is as small as possible, which is usually how I do things because it seems to work out decently enough. Aluminum and aluminum, but those are both really heavy. So if we we could lose 30 pounds if we switch to dual acting overhead cam. So we'll go and do that. Gets the weight a bit closer to the 286, but still. We're quite a ways away from that, so we still got to reduce the weight by quite a bit. How much does we could save about 5 pounds if we throw tubular exhaust on it, but we still need some serious weight reduction here. Is a multi-point EFI any different? Pretty much, we're not going to save weight here. We're not going to save weight with the fuel system. Turbo isn't going to be anywhere we can save weight. We might be able to save some weight by using aluminum silicone. But not there, that's only 3 pounds. It wouldn't be worth the cost. On the block, however, we could save 8 pounds. Again, that doesn't seem worth the cost, so I think the better solution would be to make the engine smaller yet again. The V8 is not looking good here. I mean, yeah, I love being able to use a V8 for, well, anything the game will let me. But this might not be a good scenario to be using the V8 in, considering I did say this is probably the most difficult scenario there is. But I'm going for it anyways. We need to still reduce the weight by 10 pounds. So that we could do by using aluminum silicone in both spots. But I'm sure then the cost is going to go up. Yeah. We need 1 less pound. Oh, we could use... probably the crank would be lighter if we did like... Yeah, there we go. Lighter crank. And lighter conrods. That'll help. Although I don't know how this is going to affect the cost. Cost is okay. Now we need emissions and loudness. It's, well, okay, first let's worry about economy. And kind of try to tune this engine to some extent. So we could try, upping the compression some. That's too much. We could try upping the fuel mixture, or we could, let's see. Let's lower the compression. Put the VVLs to like max, and then put the cam profile maybe like 10. Like just a little bit of cam profile, and see what that does for the engine. Alright, so it is making enough power. It is without a question making enough power. So we can afford to actually make this thing maybe a 1.5 liter engine or so. So I always assume, by the way, like CC is a direct conversion to liters. I never even thought about that. I guess it is, right? Technically? I don't know. It's one of those things where I never thought about it. I just assume, yeah, that's that many liters, right? Oh, who knows? Alright, we're going to keep upping the compression little by little. And right there, the engine's knocking, so we're going to drop the compression down by 1. And actually, you know what? I think on a small engine, or even more than just a small engine, it's usually better to have a lot of the ignition timing and versus compression. And I think I might have said the wrong word just a second ago, but high ignition timing, low compression seems to be good on smaller engines sometimes. Like for the overall power. I'm not sure if it's necessarily going to be true here, but it seems to be useful a lot of the time. Alright, now you're seeing though, we do not have enough economy. If we reduce the VVL, will that get us some economy? No, that makes it worse because the engine starts to knock. So then we have to reduce the compression a little bit more, which in the end barely makes it more of an economy car. We need the reliability probably up, right? Well, we need emissions, which is just throwing on a different exhaust. Smoothness. How are we going to get a smoothness? The crank maybe and the stuff might get more smooth. Like if we use a titanium conrods, would that help? Yes, but those are ridiculously expensive. Alright, you know what? I really do love my my V8s, but this is getting insane, the things I'm having to do just to make a V8 work. I mean, I have to somehow get the economy, and I don't know if I could do that. Because we would have to make it run so lean just to get that kind of economy. And we gotta really reduce the compression. So right there, okay. I don't know, maybe we could get it to work. Maybe. We ain't gonna get no platinum though. Alright, right here it's probably gonna about hit its limit. We need like a little bit more horsepower, a little less emissions. So for the emissions we need to put on a okay, what could we do about emissions? That is a good question. I think we could put in a direct injection system, but that increases everything, the weight and the cost and everything, so that means it's gonna, yeah. Now it's too expensive. Not too heavy yet, but it's too expensive. So then we would have to say, you know, go back to the cast iron internals, and then it's still too expensive. So I don't think this is gonna work out, unfortunately. It's just there's no way that I'm gonna be able to get a V8 to work easily. Like, I'm sure I could get a V8 to work if I spend enough time on it, but this is one of those circumstances where I'm willing to admit I bet an i6 would be a ton better. Because it should have much better smoothness right off the bat, I'm pretty sure. Because, like, I'm struggling just to keep it at 80 smoothness without spending a fortune. But an i6 should be, like, more balanced than a V8, which means it should be smoother. Is it? Is it? Oh, yeah, look at that. We don't even have to worry about smoothness if we use that. And, like, everything went green. Did you notice that? Like, everything but loudness and power is green now. That's pretty nice. So let's go and just make the engine bigger. We'll make it, well, maybe not that big. That's too big. We usually can get just under 100 horsepower per liter. So let's try doing it at about, like, a 1.2 liter engine, I guess. There we have a little bit of room for reliability. See what that does. All right, power is down, but we can change that. Let's go ahead and make the fuel mixture the 14.7 because that's like a nice number to work with. We can increase the RPM limit a bit because it shouldn't be a problem to do that, I'm thinking. Let's see here. We can increase the compression probably a bunch. See what that does. All right, power is almost there. It's 107. We need more than 107. So we literally need one more horsepower. So we'll just up the compression one more tick. And there we go. We got the power. Now the loudness is still an issue though. So we could just throw on a reverse flow on it and that should just kill the loudness. And right off the bat, we got a gold. Not bad. We can do better though. I'm pretty sure if we used aluminum heads and blocks, that would save some money and it wouldn't really have much negative effects. We got 1 point from doing that. I want to know though, is it from using both or is it like better to have one aluminum, one whatever. I'm trying just to like count numbers in my head. So it looks like it's better to match them up. Getting aluminum and aluminum versus aluminum and aluminum silicone. Aluminum seems to just barely have an edge. So we'll do that. And let's see. I think it ran a little bit quieter when I switched to all aluminum. So does that mean I could just do baffled? I guess it didn't run much quieter, did it? So let's see here. What can we do here? Nothing's really catching my eye as something I could change. I mean, the intake, if we weren't on standard, I would put it to there. But we're already on standard, so nothing we can do there. We don't have a turbo. The heads and valves, I'm pretty sure what I said before still stands, that direct acting is going to be better just because it's lighter and stuff. I think dual overhead would just be overkill in this situation. What if we increase the VVL profile? I don't know why I thought it would affect loudness, but I thought it was worth a shot. Oh, I know what we could do. We could just decrease the exhaust diameter. Aha! Please don't kill the engine's power, though. Oh, it killed the engine's power. Alright, well. The loudness is still not there, so we could just do a couple of ticks on the quality slider here, I guess. And alright, we got loudness, but we lost some power in the process. So we need to get some more power out of this thing. I guess putting the VVL profile up wasn't a good idea. There we go. Platinum. That's a platinum build right there. And that's like doing it the way the game would want you to do it, you know. i6 and all that. That's what you'd want to use. Then you got the crazy way. We're going V8, man. Actually, before we do that, I wonder if we could have used a, well, I'm pretty sure we could have. It says specifically something about an aluminum block, right? I'm using cast iron block. Yeah. Oh, it's too heavy. But just barely. So close. I wanted to do a cast iron block, but I don't know how you make it the weight low enough. Let's see if we use aluminum silicone on this one. Gotta reduce it a little bit, but not quite enough. We would have to do let's see. Are any of these long tubular saves us a couple of pounds? Yeah, now it's just loud, just roaring around your little iCar. One more tick on the quality here, and it'll be quiet enough. And then we just have to lower the weight by, like nothing. We just have to just get the weight so much infinitely smaller. So like do that. Haha! I did it with an aluminum block. You can't. I mean, without an aluminum block, I used a cast iron block. You can't tell me what to do, game. Sure, I didn't get my gold or anything, but hey, I'm happy I got it without an aluminum block just to see if I could. So go ahead and try to set it back to what I had before. I think that's about what it was, right? No, because I'm not in platinum anymore. Alright, what did I change still? Let's see. This is... That looks okay. I think I had tubular before, didn't I? Mixture... That looks okay. Nothing to look at there. Did I change anything on this? I don't think I did. Okay, what did I change? I literally have no idea what I changed to, Oh, is it because I did a quality slider? I forgot. I wasn't looking at quality sliders. That might have been it. See, that's what it was. I probably put that quality slider, right? There's the platinum. Alright, now, just for laughs, we're going to do another attempt for the V8. Because, you know what? I like my V8 engine in anything kind of idea I usually go with. So that's what we're going to try to do. I'm just going to throw this together real quickly. I'm not going to explain my thoughts on it or anything. I'm just going to throw some parts together and then I'll tweak it once we have it all set up. No, I don't need overhead cam. Why would I ever want an overhead cam? I'm just throwing parts together all willy-nilly, based similarly on what worked last time. And then we'll tweak it. And hopefully get it to work. All right. So let's the first thing I remember having a problem with was the emissions, which seem to be okay right now. We actually have good emissions, but the cost is way too high. We need to figure out a way to reduce the cost, which well, actually we need to increase the smoothness as well. Let's worry about the smoothness first because that's going to dictate a lot. Like we need the engine to be smooth and then we have to build around that. After we have the smoothness determined, there's nothing else really we need to do with it. So let's see, a forged steel. Okay, so we're probably going to want a billet steel crank, and then we need the conrods to be a little bit smoother as well. Looks like we're going to have to go to I-beam steel, or worse, I-beam titanium, which is just insane dollars. Let's see, what if we throw some low friction cast? Does that help with the smoothness enough to... Okay, good. Maybe we could get away with forged H-beam even. Alright. What about forged steel? Not quite, but I think it might be the cheapest setup that we could possibly get away with to get that 80 smoothness. Might be like this kind of thing. Nah, okay. Quality slider's not worth it in this scenario. Bullet steel versus forged steel is not that big of a price difference, so we'll go with that. And then can we do forged H-beam? Is there a big difference in price? Oh, there's such a small difference, I'm not going to really worry about that. Let's see, is it better though? I mean, smoothness you get points for, so we'll keep it at I-beam steel, actually. So we got smoothness solved out. Now we can worry about the other things. For example, power. No, power's the easy one. Let's see, we need to worry about... We got the emissions still, but we need to worry about the weight. This thing is heavy. We need to make it lighter. On the exhaust, we can say no muffler and all that, but that'll just come back to having to be added later, and we need to deal with the loudness and all that. So let's see, what is the loudness at right now? 29.6. You can't remove anything from there. We might be able to get away with removing a stage from the catalytic converter. Almost. And that doesn't save that much weight. I mean, well, 10 pounds is a pretty good amount. What if we go one tick on the quality slider? Alright, we're going to have to do 2 ticks on the quality slider, which is going to cost us 20-something dollars, like $27 it looked like. But that deals with that, and it does save a couple of pounds. See, it doesn't really save as much as I was hoping for, though. Oh, we could just do a high flow one, which is $50 difference, though. Alright, wait, which is cheaper? A 3-way without the pluses, or... Okay, if I go 2-way and then do the couple of pluses on the quality, that is more economical anyways. So there's no reason, I guess, not to do it like that. We're already running as lean as we can, but it doesn't matter. Direct injection is heavy, isn't it? Throttle per cylinder, yeah, I got the money for that. The other thing I gotta do is reduce the cost, so I think direct injection will be the thing that has to go. Because that is really expensive. We save $300 just by going to multi-point EFI, plus we save like 10 pounds. Might help. Let's see. Alright, emissions is gone now. Emissions is just, wow, kind of gone. So we're going to have to throw a 3-way on this. Now the emissions are just barely there. We need weight, though, still. And somehow we need economy, which I can probably tweak out of it later. But still need weight. We need to somehow cut 14 pounds off of this. I think the VVL weighs 90. Okay, so if we get VVL, that's no more variable valve lift. So we got everything but power and economy. Now we just have to tune all the other things. So let's increase the cam profile a bit and the compression. See what that gets me. A little too much, so go and bring it down. Oh, now emissions are getting worse. Just ignore it, ignore it, ignore it. I need more power. This is not good. So we basically have a race cam profile on this thing. And I'm still struggling to get enough power. I'll have to run it a bit richer, but I have no idea how I'm going to reach the economy goal at this point. Like, the economy goal is just, that's wishful thinking, man. There's no way it's going to happen. Man, i6, though. i6 makes it easy. You should have a V8 in it, and all of a sudden, this is a very, very difficult challenge. Is there something else that's limiting the power? No? There's nothing on the car that's like limiting the power. That's what it almost feels like though. It feels like I'm not getting as much gain as I would hope for from what I'm doing. What if we say big ignition timing and lower compression? Maybe? Alright, well this is obviously going nowhere. I think I'm about to call this one a failure. I mean, we already got a nice run. It's not like it's, I didn't get anything good. I got a platinum. Just not with my V8. That's all. No V8. Sniffle, sniffle. Now, if money wasn't an object, we could do it. Money is an object, though. Alright, so there we go. We got the loudness back down. You know, actually, it might just be better to just go with a reverse flow instead. I mean, emissions. Oh, why did I say loudness? I'm just being dumb. I'm being dumb. Do we need the reverse flow then? No. No. We don't need that. Get out of here. What if we did a twin configuration? That did, well, nothing. It just increases airflow. I mean, I would be impressed if somebody could do this with a V8. But at this point, it's just fiddling around too much for me to want to bother. Alright, what if we did something I rarely do? What if we had the same numbers on the engine? I like my engines that are either totally stroke focused or totally bore focused. So I guess that'll be it. Because, well, this is so fiddly just to get a bronze is stupid. So I'm just gonna go ahead and end the video here. Till next time, this has been WhyBeAre. I'll see ya. I never let an engine run, so here, have this one. Hey, quick update. I got it up to economy, almost being there. I tweaked it a bit more. I just upped the red line a bunch. I didn't realize it was at such a low red line. But I still have no idea what I'm going to do about economy. I'll keep tweaking it a little bit more, but this might be the actual end. I never know with these things. I always say I'm done and then I'm not. Can never decide. Good news! I got the economy! Bad news, I lost the power. It's never ending with the V8. Okay, somehow I can afford a direct injection. I thought I couldn't afford direct injection, but I can, which means we should be able to hit this thing with a V8 after all. All we have to do is just reduce the fuel mixture as much as we can. See what that run gets me. And we gotta up the compression, and we should be able to get this thing working right. So, yeah, give me a minute to tweak these exactly, and then I'll be right back. I figured out the problem. See, before I had variable valve lift. Now I got rid of variable valve lift instead of the multi-point for the direct injection, blah, blah, blah. That changed a lot about the way I had to do the cam profile and stuff. See, with that on, I don't know. I don't know if it's going to happen, man. It's, more tweaking needs to be done. I got a silver. That's not bad. We got silver with a V8. But I already got a platinum with the i6. I don't feel like tweaking this thing more to try to get a platinum out of it. The problem was when I figured it out. I was tweaking it like I was tweaking the i6, and really a V8 is different. You got to treat it differently, and you got to tweak it differently. So here's the final setup I have. So if you wanted to take a quick look at it, stroke is maxed out, bore is minimized on that. Again, all these are pretty much the same thing. It's nothing too major changed here. Just tweak the compression, the cam profile, all that. And no turbo. I ended up going back to multi-point EFI. Just a single configuration was all that was needed. Single point was also a possibility, actually, now that I think about it. But it would probably not work out because I would have to retweak everything. Yeah, I'm sure you could use that too. It would be less, just a different way of approaching it. I increased the red line a bunch. Switched all this around up kind of thing. Like I said, instead tubular short cast. Tried single versus dual exhaust. And then I upped the quality some. After all that, we got a silver with a V8. And I'm just like, whoo, that's some engine tuning. So I need a I need to stop doing so much engine tuning, so I'm going to go and end this video here for sure for now, for real, 100% legitimately promised it is the end. So until next time, this is WhyBeAre. I'll see ya.